Hey, shalom, welcome to Rakam Makapashim Jim Islam, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Chadash. I want to give double honors unto the elders, the apostles of GMS, and shalom out there to the hopeful elect. Appreciate truth and all sincerity. Back with another lesson. Just want to, I'll probably entitle this one, actually, I'm not even sure yet, but, what it is, as you see upon the title of this article here, it says, CV variants could be named after star constellations if Greek alphabet is used up, says WHO epidemiologist. Okay, well, what I wanted to show in this lesson is that, this world that we live in, this, era is a continuation of these Edomites' reign, okay, beginning from when, of the time of the Greeks. All right, the Grecians or the Greeks, they were Edomites, okay, and they ruled in Greece, they ruled in Rome, okay, in these eras, okay, and their kingdom, the Roman Empire fell, right, and has returned again to continue on those things that they were doing from before, and it's examples like this or proofs like this that show you, man, that it's the same spirit. These are the same Greeks or the same Edomites that we're dealing with, man, because this is what we base our system on. We base this world on these Greeks and these Romans, these practices and idols and all these things that they worshipped, okay, are being worshipped today and being run, in the same fashion, even down to the architecture and the things that we build, all stems back from Rome and from Greece, the beginning of Esau's rulerships. All right, showing you that Esau is here, ruling the earth today. Okay, except for now, he goes by numerous identities and titles and all these types of things because he don't want no one knowing who they are. Because even as the Greeks and the Romans, he never went by the race or the name Esau or Edom. Okay, he's always stolen identities of nations that he's come to be in possession of. All right, because he wasn't the original Greeks and all that kind of stuff. So, but he takes these titles on to to run away from his true identity, which is the Edomites. Okay, so I'm just gonna get in this article and I'll get some few scriptures to show you what it is that's going on, right? So anyway, CV variants could be named after the star constellations. A Greek alphabet is used up, says WHO epidemiologist. Okay, so the question is why? Why are we going with the Greek things? Everything seems to be in Greek or Latin. Romans use Latin and so on and so forth. Why is it that we use all these terms? Why not any other terms? Okay, why specifically these terms? It's like when you go, get up in Esau's science and all this kind of stuff, the literature, man, it starts turning into Latin, man. You're not reading English no more. Okay, which is, a language that they push in the world. Okay, that everybody seems to have to learn if you want to do business or you want to become a doctor. Okay, then you have to, go in, and when you learn about these medical terms, they're all in Latin. Why is it of that fashion? Why is it that way? Right, because it stems from these Edomites. Okay. But anyway, let's read on. This new CV variants could be named after the constellations when the 24 letters in the Greek alphabet are used up. So they're going to go from the Greek alphabet. Okay, this is why we got the alpha, the beta. What's the other one? And then we got delta currently. And you got the new one. What do they call the new one? My Greek ain't all that, but epsilon. That's what they're doing right now. They're going throughout the Greek alphabet, and the ones that they've reported to the masses are just the ones that are prominent or of concern, as they like to put it. Okay, there's more out there than just those ones, but each with its own Greek alphabet or letter. But those ones are the most prominent ones that we're hearing about. So I'm assuming they've used quite a lot of letters already, and they expect to be using a lot more because of new variants. Okay, that's what they're saying. So once they run out of letters, they're going to go on to Greek constellations, star constellations. All right, why? Why are these things named after Greeks, you know, the Grecians and all, you know, why is it that's what we're doing? All right. It says that Maria van Kerkhove revealed the body was considering how the naming rule for mutations of interest and concern should change amid concerns new variants will continue to emerge in the coming months. Okay, so that's a prediction that they are making. All right, I didn't make those predictions. Okay, so you know YouTube can suck an egg, but you know we know that was going to happen anyway. you know, you know there was the new ones coming along. But anyways, in June, the WHO renamed CV variants after letters of the Greek alphabet to avoid stigmatizing the countries which first reported them. Again, why the Greek? Okay, this is WHO, us, you know, an organization that's not pinned by any national ties, and you know, it's a mixture of different nations supposedly, you know, in an organization. But why is it then? This is what we're following. This is, you know, what they're using. Because they use anything, right? Could have named them anything, right? But no, they decided to go Greek, just like everything else. It says once the 24 Greek letters have been exhausted, names including Orion, Gemini, and Aries could be used. All right, so we will possibly run out of the Greek alphabet, but we are already looking at the next series of names. All right, so we actually consider it. We actually considering star constellations. We were going to go with Greek gods or goddesses. These are their gods. This is why they're being chosen. You know, they you know, Esau's an ultimate heathen, right? So he's still into idol worship. He still worships these Greek gods and any type of gods, which are just idols. Okay, demons really. You know, but he still sacrifices to them. He still, you know, does things to these idols. You know, for these idols. That's why these things keep getting used. You know, here it is. Greece was a long time ago, you know, right? And yet we're still calling these constellations after those things. Okay, we haven't got our own names for them. We still go by what the Greeks called them, even though they had names before the Greeks. You know, these constellations, they would have been named different things by different people. You know, but this is what this world is based on. Based on these, the philosophies and the teachings of the Edomites. Okay, because these Greeks were Edomites. Why, which I'm going to get into. All right. It says we were going to go with Greek gods and goddesses, and I said, please don't make me say that publicly. So the Greek alphabet names do not replace existing scientific names, but were brought in as they are easier and more practical to be discussed. Okay, they just want to keep throwing the names out there. These Greek names, these Greek gods, they want to keep throwing that out there. That's why the name is important. Okay, because we keep harping on about Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, right? Because that's our power, that's our God, right? At the same time, Esau wants to promote his. Okay, so these names are important because it's all, you know, it's all part of their worship to these idols. All right, so. So a panel of scientists considered several alternatives for the new system, including Greek gods and pseudo-classical invented names, before settling on the Greek alphabet. All right, so it's the theme of Greek. Okay, the Greek theme, right? And like I said, it's spurred by these Edomites because, you know, as the Greeks, that was their first dominion. That was their first rulership on the earth. All right, but Esau is here again. Okay, to continue that. Okay. And I'm going to read it here in 2nd Ezra chapter 6. It says, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Okay, so Esau is still ruling here at the end of the world. Now, his period of rulership was broken up. Okay, when Rome fell, you know, it wasn't a consistent rulership, consistent rulership. Okay, it was broken up. Okay, but Esau would come back into power again. Okay, to be the last kingdom on the earth to rule before our Lord Yahweh Shai comes, before he establishes the kingdom of heaven. All right, so Esau is the end of the world. So the Edomites are still here. These Greeks, these Romans are still here. These Edomites. Okay, contrary to popular belief, Esau is still here. All right. So I'm just gonna show give the connection here to the Edomites and these Greeks. All right. So this is from First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 1, and it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip the Macedonian. All right. So Alexander, okay, who history knows him as Alexander the Great. Okay, he was a Grecian. Okay, of his father Philip. Okay, they were Macedonians. Okay, that's what they were. They were Macedonians. That's what the region they came from. Where they ruled from. All right. It says, who came out of the land of Chetim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead the first over Greece. All right. So that was Alexander. Okay, he was a Macedonian. Okay, and the Macedonians are Edomites. Oops, wrong one. All right, so this is additions to Esther, okay, Esther in the scriptures, right? And this is speaking about the man Haman, okay, that you read about in the book of Esther, right? It says, for Haman, he was a Macedonian, as it says here, a Macedonian, the son of Amminadab, being indeed a stranger from the Persian blood. Right, so he was a foreigner in the time of the Persians, man. Right, he was an Edomite in the land of Persia, or residing with the Persians, right? For he was a Macedonian, right? And so the son of Amminadab was an Agagite, okay, of the tribe of Agag, which is the tribe of Esau. Right, so these are Edomites that we're talking about. The Macedonians, Haman, Idumean, as we know, right? Alexander and his father Philip were Edomites, going back to their original tribes, the Edomites. Okay, and then he still had guys like Herod. He was an Idumean. He was known as an Idumean. All right, so the Edomites were there. All right, and they had rulership. Okay, these Greeks and these Romans, they're all tribes of Esau. Okay, that were waging war and taking over. After Alexander died, okay, his kingdom was split in by his 4 generals, right? Or Edomites: Ptolemy, Lasamicus, this is the Seleucid Empire, and you had what was the other one? It's been a while since I went over that. Don't think I mentioned different ones just here, but but Antiochus, I think, was of the Seleucid Empire. He was the most notable one, But yeah, it split before between these 4 generals, which were all Edomites. Okay, and this is what ended up, wars ended up going on. Okay, and these are just all Edomites that are just warring one another. Then Rome took over. Okay, but that Roman Empire, which carried on the philosophy of the Greeks, the architecture, the idol worship. Okay, they renamed the same gods. They just renamed them, but it was the same gods essentially. Okay, instead of Zeus, you had Jupiter, and things like that. So they just renamed them. Okay, but they were essentially the same gods. All right, but as we know, Rome fell. What should I get first? I'm going to get Revelations 13:3 first, right? It says, and I saw one of his heads, as it were, wounded to death, right? And this is speaking about one of the heads of the beast, okay, which represents NATO, but, in this one, one of the heads, it represents Rome, okay? And Rome was the head that was wounded, because that was when Esau was taken down, okay? Rome was destroyed, and then you had the Holy Roman Empire, okay, which wasn't ruled by Esau, okay? But in this latter end, because Esau's the end of the world, he would return, right? So this is that part. So, and I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. So it made a return. It recovered, right? And they worshipped the dragon, which by the way, this is in the Book of Revelation. So this is talking about the end. All right, it says, and they worshipped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast, and they worshipped the beast, saying, "Who is like unto the beast, who is able to make war with him?" All right, so he returned into power. All right, and now this is why this world, this world that we live in right now, is fashioned after those same customs, like the Greeks and the Romans. That's why we have those things in our world today. All right, the democracies and the two-party systems and all these types of things here. The high-rise buildings, the columns, the pillars, the colosseums, things like that. Okay, they're all things that were taken from those eras, man. All right. So your rulership was mended, okay, and that started taking place during the Renaissance period, man. All right, and this goes into that here. So Revelation chapter 20, verse 2. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil, and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. Okay, that's the same time that Rome fell. Okay, you were taken out of power. All right, you were wounded. Okay, you were missing for 1,000 years, man. You was put away. All right, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. All right, and when that 1,000 years was up, that's when you made your comeback. That's when your wound was healed. Right, you made your comeback, and you started that period of that cultural period, which they call the Renaissance period, man. You started getting into power and into rulership in different nations, man. Okay, and started undoing that 1,000 years where you was missing. Okay, through iconoclasm, through teachings and stuff like that. And he started calling it the Dark Ages, where men supposedly had, were living in darkness, had no wisdom and knowledge and all this kind of stuff. You shat on it, basically, because you wasn't in rulership. And now this is the rebirth, right? This is the Renaissance, because Renaissance means rebirth. And this is the age of enlightenment. Okay, when all you've really done is spread lies and increase the wickedness that went on. That's all you've done. So that was that period anyway. Okay, and you're back here at the end, as you stated at the beginning. He saw the end of the world. Okay, and Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Okay, and we just read about the wicked at the end. Okay, the old serpent, the dragon, the old serpent, which is the devil, and Satan. Okay, this is Esau. He's the wicked. All right. I wanted to get, I might do a separate video on this chapter here, but I wanted to get just a point out of this. I'm not sure of the verse. I think it was verse 13 I wanted. All right, it says, the second Maccabees chapter 4, verse 13 says, now such was the height of Greek fashions. Right, that was the in thing. Everybody was doing it. Right, and they were trying to convert or force the Israelites to join in, be as one with them. Okay, just like this world is, this world wants everybody on the same page. Really. We can't go against really what it is that they're setting up. All right. It says an increase of heathenish manners. Okay, that's why we worship this beast. And he's we worship the image of the beast, which is his system. Okay, and like I said, it's based on this Edomite system, basically. Okay, which is wicked. Right? Through the exceeding profaneness of Jason, the ungodly wretch, and no high priest. Right? So, this world is going after these Greekish fashions, man. This world is crafted on that. It's built around on those things, right? Because it's all Esau, okay? But, let me get this. This is Psalms 49, verse 11. It says, the inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, right? Esau believes that he's going to be in rulership forever. Okay, he's got so proud and boast, puffed up. He don't think he's going to be taking that power now. Okay, he's lost it once, and then he's grabbed it back, and he thinks it's going to continue forever, right? But he goes on to say, it says, and their dwelling places to all generations, they call their lands after their own names. Okay, now the reason why I brought this out is because they call things after their own names, not just lands. Okay, they name things after themselves, after their beliefs, and and that's what I mean. Why Greek gods? Why these things? Why don't they ever name it? Oh, Yahweh. Why isn't it, they don't? It's supposed to be a so-called God-fearing country, but they worship idols. Like, how does that make any sense? They're gonna name things Apollo and all this types of stuff, and with their space rockets and shit. Why do they do this? Why do they do these things? Because that is really their spirit. Really, these are the same guys that they're just back. Edomites that have been, it's a continuation of the Edomite rulership. And so they name things after their spirit, basically, essentially, right? That's what it is. All right? That's why these things are Greek or in Latin or, oh, you got to speak our language, because it's their rulership, and they get to set, what it is, what you have to do. Okay? Because, when we're talking about administrative language, it ain't Chinese. Okay? It ain't Russian. It ain't French. Because they're not the ones in rulership. Okay? It's these Edomites, and the Edomites predominantly speak English. Okay, and like I said, you go up in the up in the echelons, and into the medical, practices and all that kind of stuff. You start finding out a lot of these terms are in Latin, or Greek or whatever. All right. This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 5 says, yea, also, because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. All right, so Esau, he wants to bring everybody in, but guess what? Like I said, you're gonna have to learn his language. You wanna participate in America and England and all these kinds of where the wealth is at and that kind of stuff. Then you're gonna have to learn, man. You're gonna have to conform. You're gonna have to learn their ways, all right, and do as the Greeks do. As that saying goes, right? Or that Romans saying, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. So you become westernized, you become Hellenized, which was the term back then. Now you're becoming westernized, following their ways. Okay? This is Malachi chapter 1 verse 4. It says, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord have indignation forever. Okay, I was meant to pair that with a previous scripture, man, going into wrong going down, coming back, and then believing in the houses shall continue it forever. The Most High is going to destroy Esau at the end. He is the last kingdom on the planet. Okay? So they've built up again. They've built their kingdom again. Their wound was healed, and they've built this kingdom up again in the light fashions of those things that they did before. Okay, as the Greeks and as the Romans. Okay, they brought it back in light fashion. Obviously, they made tweaks and whatever, but it's in that same fashion, in that same spirit. Okay, but the Most High is going to bring this place down regardless, man. It doesn't matter how powerful Esau believes he is. He believes himself to be. The Lord is going to bring him down and destroy him. All right, so these Edomites, they're very much in, man. And like I said, you can see it. You should be able to see it in their actions and the things that they do, what they, like I said, why are we going with Greek alphabets? Why are we going through with Greek gods and constellations and stuff? Why is it those things? Because that's in their spirit, man. That's these Edomites. You know, they set what things are. Okay, you will do as they tell you, man, and you'll speak and all. You got a total line of Esau, man. All right. So, like I said, they're here, man. Okay, and all these scriptures, Lord willing, you can see it. It all uncovers them. All right. So, I hope this is an edifying video. I didn't want it to go on this long, but it was just a quick one. But I hope this is an edifying video. And like I said, it was just to show that, these Edomites are here, man, and these Edomites were the Greeks, man. All right, and this is why they still push that Greekish fashion. All right, and that's why they be calling all these things after Greek names and Latin names and all this kind of stuff, because that's what the Edomites did when they were in rulership. That's what they were on. They were on Latin. They were on Greek. Okay, that was their language, and now, like I said, now it's predominantly English. All right, but yeah, like I said, I hope it's edifying, and I'll catch you brothers and sisters on the next one, man. So till then, I say shalom.